So after 7 years of going through schooling to get a college doctorate degree, doctors are now certified to look at whatever condition you present to them, and they're going to give you drug A or drug B to treat whatever condition if drug A or drug B is claimed to do that. But there's a lot more that has to be taken into consideration. Take, for example, genetic predispositions. People are reacting a certain way and having whatever conditions based on genetics. And if you give them drug A, that can interact with whatever genetic predisposition and fuck them up, versus the other people that get that treatment because of whatever conditions and they're okay because they don't have a genetic predisposition that is causing them to have whatever condition, and this drug is going to fuck with that genetic predisposition. What I'm trying to say is doctors only know so much. They're told whatever it is after going through whatever process to get to where they have a doctorate degree, but they don't find out stuff for themselves. Versus a doctor, I don't get paid anything to look at your conditions, consider your genetic predispositions, and test stuff out on myself in order to know what type of effects I should expect from whatever treatment that I give you. And versus a doctor, I actually take genetic predispositions into consideration. They are only taught to do what they're told to do. I don't have to be told to do anything. I just know this stuff because I've looked into it personally instead of having it be presented to me, or I'm not held accountable by someone in a higher position that is going to tell me how to practice medicine. I decide, okay, I got this drug called bupropion. It's Wellbutrin. So after I get this drug, it lowers the seizure blah blah blah. Fuck. I can't talk. And that pisses me off. But anyway, I lower the seizure threshold, and that causes me to be more likely to develop seizures. Now I'm putting in all the other treatments that are supposed to induce a seizure or prevent a seizure by either further lowering the seizure threshold or increasing the seizure threshold. That is how I come to an understanding of what treats and what does not, but I get to the bottom of why it's not treating it, why it's lowering the seizure threshold. I'm not just looking at the conditions and giving you a prescription based on whatever conditions you present to me. Doctors are not personally attached to you as much as I am, because they are paid for what they do. I am not paid for what I do. I am only told that I'm right or that I'm wrong. That's all I have to look forward to as a result of whatever information that I present to you. So, bottom line is, I'm not a doctor. I can know as much as a doctor, and so can anyone else. You don't have to have a doctorate degree to know as much as a doctor. You really just have to research whatever knowledge is presented in relation to whatever treatment. And, doctors will say, oh, I don't want to bore my patients with all of these specifics. I don't want to give them too much information. And that's going to just confuse them. I don't treat anyone that I'm treating like they're stupid, like they don't have the capacity to understand how treatments work and how they interact with whatever genetic predispositions. You got the tolerance factor to consider whether or not whatever treatment is going to be effective based on how your liver processes certain medications. So there's that to consider. There's enzymes that cause whatever conditions, and you have to know whether or not this treatment is going to have whatever reaction on the genetic predisposition instead of them just having the condition as a result of something else. Anyway, I'm not going to get too much into it. I just wanted to say anyone can know as much as a doctor. I could, and I do, know about as much as maybe a pharmacist would after extensive schooling, whatever information they're able to retain. But it's not rocket science. It's just being able to recite whatever information is presented to you and being able to absorb whatever knowledge and find the connections and how it has to do with whatever, blah, 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 blah. You get the point.